Fortnite Chapter 4's launch trailer got leaked through gameplay tags basically describing what's going to be happening in the event, going directly into the downtime, with this being the next thing we see initially of Fortnite. In this final countdown being something also that's soon going to be added into the lobby for everybody to see, it's safe to say this is about to be the biggest event in Fortnite history, which you guys won't want to miss a second of in today's video. In the prior video, I asked you guys to name this on screen right now, so here's a ton of comments on screen that got that right. Today, however, I want to know the name of this, so make sure to leave it down below in the comments, and if it receives a heart, you'll most likely be shown on screen in the very next video. So to see that as soon as it's uploaded, don't forget to leave a like in this video, subscribe to the channel with all notifications turned on so that you can be one of the first to see. And last but not least, before we hop into it all, huge shout out to everybody rocking code FM1 inside the Fortnite item shop, literally one of the shortest and easiest codes to enter, only 3 digits long. But with that said, now enough messing around, the launch trailer details got leaked, including what's happening in the live event, so make sure of course you don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere.
I'm not, I'm sitting on my
Don't
back.
go anywhere.
First of all, diving into it without wasting any time, of course, when you load up Fortnite after the version 22.40 update, which initially had all of these event files in, which we're about to be breaking down. For those that don't know, this is the first stage of the final lobby we're going to be seeing of Chapter 3 as a whole, ending as early as Season 4, as the next stage is going to look like this, which many people didn't know what this was in the background, simply thought it was just Chrome consuming everything, but from taking a closer look, data miners were able to determine, well, it's actually the tornado, you know, the ones from around the island that are going around several name locations or POIs, consuming us or directly surrounding us. In case you've been living under a rock, this is all to do with the lead up to, well, the Fracture finale event, if you haven't heard about it, that was initially revealed at the FNCS Invitational event. As you can see, it states this will be going down alongside on Fortnite's Twitter on the 3rd of December at 4 PM ET, with the Battle Pass actually stating for the first time that this season is going to be going through until December 2nd, so even before the event in itself, as it's literally anticipating the last day of the season the day prior to the event happening, we may be seeing a very not only interesting event the day of the 3rd, but an interesting day for the final day of Chapter 3. As shown earlier in the video already, you may be wondering when's the countdown timer going to be added, directly determining when we need to be in lobby for this animation to happen, literally putting everybody in your party, a full squad of 4, into this particular LTM, of which we're going to be able to partake then in the Fracture Live event, fighting off, or at our best efforts anyways, the last reality. And despite Fortnite trying to keep everything mysterious on the lead up to it, as FireMonkey states in the Discovery tab, let's just say after we play Paradigm's recording, yes, you heard that right, considering Paradigm already may have revealed that we're going to be losing this fight, but what does that mean for the Fortnite Island or reality or realities, all ones we've previously seen? Let's roll that voice recording real quick.
Reality as you know it is going to end. I know that's hard to hear, but there's no changing it now. I have a plan. Stay close and be ready to follow my lead. The scientist's suspicions were correct. The 0 point has gone dormant. I need to wake it up, and I think I know how. I need everything the scientist had on the 0 point. And that man is a squirrel, alright? So he's got data stashed everywhere. I know it's hard to understand why we need to keep fighting, especially when we won't win. Ask Jones about the Loop Breaker project. He thinks it's confidential. It's not. I need you to find a way to send me that research. I know that's an impossible request, but there has to be someone who understands. Find them. Make sure you get Bushy a medal for this. Or some ornaments. We couldn't have done this without him. Without any of you. This should be everything I need. Stay alive. Pierce, hoping we see each other again. Paradigm, over and out.
Of course, as Paradigm also stated, despite the free reward literally showing Bush Ranger now involved communicating, as he is a bush or tree-like creature, with the reality tree itself, on top of the fact this seems like a lost battle until we pull something out of our sleeves that nobody expected, that's been teased since Chapter 2 Season 2 in the Loop Breaker project. This very well could confirm the return of Midas, which was also teased in 22.30's downtime update a few weeks ago through this cosmetic, silver and gold. Despite this literally lining up directly with the pose of Midas' hand on his featured image, of course it shows his tattoos, which 100% give it away it's Midas. On top of the fact silver and gold, well, Midas' touch effect obviously turns things into gold that we saw in his particular agent room cutscene with the Black Knight helmet. Donald Mustard also confirmed he wasn't dead after seeing him literally eaten by a shark after performing the Loop Breaker project, or it kind of failing in a Doomsday Live event, by stating the following over on Twitter.
Midas is great. And not dead.
This also happened to be days before the end event of Chapter 2, which also could have meant they were foreshadowing the end of Chapter 3 to ending as early as Season 4, or had the storyline wrote out until now. This could also mean we're going to be seeing yearly chapters, considering the end event or Chapter 3 actually started on the 5th of December 2021, and as you guys know, with the Fracture event going down on the 3rd of December at 4 PM ET, with all different time zones on screen right now, so feel free to pause the video and digest or soak in all of these particular locations locations to where you're at. With it being a chapter transition, of course it's going to have a very extended downtime despite typically what we see for the bigger updates from season to season. Example, chapter 1 we saw us go into the black hole, and despite it being entertaining with the numbers that kept flashing up on screen, which directly kinda lined up anyways to the scientist voice recordings that he left behind teasing the end event or what was going to be happening. I don't know about you guys, but I was just cranking out this little mini game right here with the Durr Burger, and I managed to get a million score. Let me know down below in the comments if you played this. Chapter 2's ending wasn't as interesting, as we simply got hit with this massive tidal wave from the island flipping over in the end event in chapter 2 season 8 itself. And then of course, again, Midas teasing things in advance, we were on a raft, which then instead of being eaten by a shark, we slowly drifted over to the now flipped chapter 3 island, which again put us into the initial event or interactive cinematic where we could enter the new chapter, which I'm guessing is going to be happening at the start of chapter 4. Despite this keeping us on the edge of our seats during downtime, believe it or not, it may be even more entertaining than the Durr Burger minigame, or even just the chapter 3 downtime when we were washing up slowly more so onto the island, as Hypex stated. Don't take this as confirmation, but there seems to be a storyline related mode that we'll play from the lobby, possibly during chapter 4's downtime. Whether or not this is simply just a small minigame that won't matter when chapter 4 launches, or something that we'll be able to do to contribute toward our understanding of the new map and our first look at it perhaps. With the mention of the loot project and obviously this cosmetic foreshadowing Midas' involvement, Cypher PK also mentioned on Twitter, who actually has inside information about what's upcoming from Epic Games. For instance, he was teasing the island would flip before chapter 3 happened or the end event for chapter 2. As you can see, he stated, I think Midas will make an appearance in the end of chapter event, with a key emoji perhaps implying that he's the key to this reality not entirely being destroyed. However, speaking of this reality, with Paradigm's anticipation of our defeat, from attending the event, data miners have managed to determine we're going to be getting a free reward before it happens, and that being, well, this particular Zero Fragment back bling. The term Zero Fragment in itself, the name of this back bling, of course, despite looking at it, which we're going to do in a second, sounds familiar, as this is what ultimately the purpose of the Fortnite x Marvel Zero War story or comics was, with Marvel in chapter 2 season 4 making their way onto the Fortnite island, with comic books determining this in chapter 2 season 3 in the lobby or battle pass scene. This was the flip side, no pun intended, of that storyline, with the Fortnite characters then going into Marvel's universe instead of the other way around in search for the elusive Zero Shard, which was meant to be the tide-turning factor in the war waged between the Imagined Order and the Seven that now seems to, well, be literally non-existent anymore, or even won by the Seven in the Collision Live events, which of course we also got an alternate take on in the Fortnite x Marvel Zero War comics, and our first look at physically, well, Jenner in one of his normal forms, despite the shape-shifted version portrayed through the Zero Point that Jones and the Foundation chased after, with it bringing to our understanding that this was the Imagined and Jenner falling into the Zero Point, or basically confirming this through what was wrote or shown. At the very end, of course, from touching the uncontrolled Zero Point, the Imagined and Jenner were scattered throughout the Omniverse in terms of their particles or broken down into pieces. Why am I mentioning this? Well, it's relevant to actually the Zero Fragment back bling reward screen that everybody's going to see before the event actually goes ahead for Fracture. Instead of taking a look at the Zero Fragment name that we already have, on the left hand side it states Fracture, don't fall to pieces, which we know is what happens from touching the Zero Point when it's in its dormant, as Paradigm states, or uncontrolled state even, as also literally shown in the cinematic for the part of the chapter 2 end finale event where basically the Foundation throws an IO guard into it, for those that can't remember. But of course, most interestingly about this free reward, despite it being, well, the Zero Fragment, our first look at it, is what it shows on it and what the Zero Point is ultimately doing. With us being in chapter 3, as you guys know, Athena is codename for the chapter 1 island, Apollo the codename for chapter 2, and Artemis the codename for chapter 3. Despite it being leaked that codename Asteria, the new map, had been worked on since, well, the end of chapter 3 season 3, which of course is now confirmed to be the brand new map that we're going to be transitioning onto, with the file size being incredibly huge, around 800 megabytes for this event in itself, which is a lot bigger than any of the others we've seen, even the Galactus event, despite its size. Of course, this is implying that all 3 islands are going to be sucked into the Zero Point, and perhaps once that has been done during downtime, just like when we went into the black hole, it spits us back out of this state, and the chapter 4 island then that we're revealed to for the first time in that cinematic trailer or launch trailer is a configuration of all the 3 islands' best bits that literally everybody's wanting to see. That way we have mega OG nostalgia of chapter 1, chapter 2 locations which are kind of nostalgic and OG by now, and then of course POIs that were beloved from chapter 3 that we've recently been on. Of course, you guys will have been waiting in this video for coding about the event or what's going to be happening in sequences. Most interestingly, as FireMonkey tweeted out, despite him obviously revealing that these were event spoilers, to save you guys going through all of these with the codename of the event being Radish in itself that you're going to see repeated throughout the coding right here, it starts to get very interesting and telling us what's going to be happening directly involving the 0 point as a forefront once again right here, where it states 0 point teleport, 0 point tunnel, 0 point build up, 0 point collide, and then 0 point exit. FireMonkey also followed up to his event tags with this as well, which is interesting at the bottom with the radish.unload.artemis terrain, meaning the Anne that's been sucked into the 0 point is now being unloaded once again. With the soon launch after Chapter 4 starts of Creative 2.0's, Tim Sweeney, the CEO or founder of Epic Games, confirmed it's not coming along with the direct release of Chapter 4 sadly, but is very soon after. What does this mean? Despite us getting creative on the Fortnite island overall instead of Battle Labs, as it's now going to be vaulted, we can actually access in-game in a private lobby all of the prior Fortnite islands, and then Chapter 4 is a mesh of all 3 prior islands, also implied again in the Zero Fragment back bling, alongside some very new areas that we've never seen before. Leave a like if you're hyped and subscribe for more with all notifications turned on so that you don't miss any future uploads regarding leaks pouring out by the hour or day. Where you go to now, either way, make sure to click this video I picked out specifically for you on screen. However, most importantly, hopefully I can catch you in the very next upload I do publish on the channel.